Good morning, everyone, at Spogerhorse 2023. My voice is still here. I'm happy about that. So if you might not be sitting here in Hall 7, we have a great live stream at home too. And I can imagine that some of the people who wanted to be here this morning might still be in their hotel beds recovering from the night before. Well, anyway, we have a lot of empty seats here. If anybody wants to come by, we have some great stuff planned for you. At 11 o'clock, we'll have our fashion show. But right now, we're starting with a very important topic. This is something that not everyone takes seriously, because maybe people aren't thinking the internet is relevant anymore. We have someone who is sure that there's going to be internet in the future, and she's going to talk about creator marketing. We do live in an equestrian bubble. That could be, but we might be able to use that in a clever way. So Kristina Sehr is going to tell us about this. She has her own agency, SehrwieViel. She makes concepts. She's been responsible for our Creator Days program over in the Rheinsaal. We've heard that the weekend was really terrific. Unfortunately, I couldn't see it because I was busy here on the stage, but we're going to have a highlight from it with a talk by Kristina Sehr.
Hi und einen wunderschönen guten Morgen.
Hi, good morning. I think some of you might be a little tired. It was a long day yesterday, but I'm really happy to see you today, and that I can talk to you a little bit about influencer marketing, creator marketing in equestrian sport. That's my vocation. I'm Kristina. My brand is SehrwieViel. I give consulting to customers in equestrian sport, and I'd like to talk about influencer marketing. Should we do it? Do we have to? Can we do it better?
Und darüber möchte ich euch heute ein kleines bisschen erzählen.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about this. It's not a short-term trend anymore. It's been here for a while. It's not hype anymore. It's here to stay. We can't just ignore it anymore. So how can we use it to our best advantage?
Warum spreche ich jetzt überhaupt die ganze Zeit von Creator Marketing?
Why am I talking about creator marketing the whole time? Isn't it called influencer marketing? Is there a difference? What is the creator economy that everyone's talking about right now?
Ein bisschen die
Well,
Begrifflichkeit.
let's talk about the terms right now.
Ich habe nicht die ausufernste Präsentation mitgebracht, weil ich euch lieber einfach ein bisschen was erzählen möchte.
You'll see that my slides don't have much information because I'd rather talk about it. What's the difference between creator and influencer?
Mal von Content Creatern sprechen können. Denn auch alle, die ihr so als Influencer kennt,
All the people that you know as influencers.
anmoderiert hat, kennen sicherlich ganz viele, war eine der ersten großen Influencerinnen.
Annika Hansen, for example, she's one of the biggest influencers and the earliest influencers in this area.
Eine Sache für sich verstanden,
A lot of them have something in common.
erstellen, Inhalt, Content,
They create content that works,
spricht, der relevant
that addresses people, that's relevant, that's important for their community.
teilweise emotionalisiert, spannend ist, entertained.
It emotionalizes and entertains.
Das ist im Grunde die absolute Superpower der
So content creation is an influencer's superpower.
Trotzdem können wir noch ein bisschen abgrenzen mittlerweile. Denn ich würde immer sagen, jeder Influencer ist ein Content Creator.
Well, I would say that every influencer is a content creator, but not every content creator is an influencer.
Social Media beschäftigen.
We've seen that there are people who are
Wie noch vor ein paar Jahren
working in social media, it's not really that easy to generate followers in a short period of time. So we have a lot of content creators who really understand how to do this, but they don't have this massive reach that influencers have.
Community passt. Und auch die können wir für uns nutzbar machen als Brand.
These are the kind of people that we can use and we can benefit from.
Influencer haben immer noch den besonderen Stellenwert, dass sie die
Influencers are value in that they have value in that they have strong communities. They are opinion makers. They can generate opinions. They have lots of followers who are influenced by them.
begreifen, wie relevant das Thema Content Creation.
But to understand how relevant content creators are, let's take a look at the zeitgeist.
Wir haben beispielsweise auf den Creator Days, die Annika gerade anspricht, das war
At the Creator Days that Annika was talking about, that was a side event that we had here at Spokehorse. It was a networking event for equestrian influencers. We talked a lot about Gen Z. Generation Z, what is that?
Die sind so zwischen 15 und 26
These are people between 15 and 26 years old. I'm a little older. I'm Gen Y. I'm 31. This is a market a little bit younger than I am. There is a big difference between me and Gen Z. If I think about my youth, I worked with a modem to get online.
Taste kommen, weil das wahnsinnig viel Geld gekostet hat in wenigen Minuten.
I couldn't do internet on my phone because that costed a lot of money at that time. With Gen Z, grew up with the iPhone, with the smartphone. I was a teenager at that time, but they grew up with smartphones in their hands.
Weil sie
They had another kind of daily routine than I did because they always knew what it's like to always be online, to always be connected with the internet. I know the analog world, but the internet has become the realitate for Gen Z. And this feeling of always being on and being flooded with content, we all know that. We scroll on our smartphones, and we are deluged with so much content. This can be overwhelming. It can be harder to stand out with one piece of content from the others. I just said it's harder to stand out. When we open our apps, TikTok, Instagram, etc., we're so spoiled. We get so much content. The younger generation doesn't really have any interest in going through advertising to get ads. We want to learn something more. We want to be entertained. We want entertaining content. But if there's some ad in between, well, buy my saddle pad. Well, they're not really excited about that. Gen Z has another level of expectations than we do. So we have to think about how we can get them excited. When we look at Gen Z, social media is producing the new stars now. Today it's the elevator boys who have really become stars over TikTok. Before that, it was Miss Beauty Palace on YouTube. These are the big opinion makers in this area.
Social media ist omnipräsent. Es wird aber auch
Social media is everywhere, and it's really getting harder to get noticed and to make visibility for our brand. So what do? Well, we can use paid ads on Meta, on TikTok, for paid content, but that's harder too.
Früher kam es gar nicht mehr ganz so leicht, seit vor einiger Zeit Apple das neue iOS gelauncht hat. Es wird immer schwieriger.
Apple has launched a new iOS. Their privacy policy is making it harder for targeted ads.
Aber für Menschen, die mit diesen Anzeigen ihr Geld verdienen,
For the people who earn their money through ads, it's getting harder and harder for them. It's not so easy to target your audience. So we have to think in a new way. How can we place our brands on social media?
da wird dann wieder relevant Content Creator.
So content creators
sind nach wie vor die
are
Menschen erreichen,
the solution.
immer wieder am Puls der Zeit sind.
They are always on the pulse of time. They know what's new. They know what works.
Wie ist das Ganze denn jetzt in der Pferdesportbranche? Denn es hat einen Grund, warum ich nur mit Pferdesportkunden arbeite.
There's a reason why I work with equestrian sport or why they work with me. The equestrian sport is different. I think I can say that.
Ich tausche mich natürlich viel mit Kolleginnen und Kollegen aus der Beauty-Branche.
I talk to a lot of people out of the beauty segment, lifestyle and fitness. They
Ich glaube, das kann man schon mal sagen. Aber das
equestrian segment is different, but there's reasons for that. The people I work with say,
ein Stück weit hinterher.
well, equestrian sport is behind the times. That might be, but there are reasons.
Wir hier haben, was
What
uns alles
we have here,
nicht nur Kleidung
what connects us is not just clothing,
heißt, es geht
but
immer um Verantwortung,
it has to do with a creature.
ein hochemotionales Kernthema.
It's a very highly emotional core topic, which is the horse.
Nachdenken. Zum einen ist es so, das hat auch dieses Event, die Creator Days jetzt wieder gezeigt,
So the Creator Days
der Pferdesport
showed that
professionalisieren sich. Es gibt immer mehr
influencers
Management,
in equestrian sport are becoming more professionalized.
gehen und die auch eine
They're seeing how to work with the market.
kommen. Und es gibt immer mehr Brands, die verstehen, wie sie mit
There's
Influencern
more and more brands that understand how the influencers work.
statt, auch wenn es immer noch ein sehr spannender Shift ist. Denn wir haben ein paar
Even if
Unternehmen,
this is a really exciting change.
TV und dergleichen zurück, die haben super früh sich das ganze Thema Influencer-Marketing geschnappt und nutzbar gemacht. Und andere begreifen erst jetzt, dass sie nicht mehr wirklich dran vorbeikommen.
So
Das heißt, wir haben da gerade Brands,
before we used to bring in the influencers, this was something very exciting and new and novel, and now you can't ignore it. It has to be part of your work.
gerade so die ersten Schritte. Jede von
A lot of people right in the first steps of these. A lot of these brands are being taken seriously, but they're at a different place in their strategy. In equestrian sport, there's more happening.
heute nochmal
I just read in the program there's going to be something about equestrian sport in the public eye. We can't ignore that in marketing.
Reitsport sich gerade kritischen Fragen stellen muss.
There are critical questions about the sport,
Und das merken wir aber auch von innen heraus, also bottom-up im
and
Grunde.
we see that from the bottom up,
Immer mehr Menschen, die selber
that there are more and more people who have horses are searching for role models, for people to listen to. When I was younger, I was always paying attention to the jumpers in my youth. I always wanted their autograph. Now people are asking Annika for her autograph. So we have other role models that we're looking to.
können. Und Social Media sorgt natürlich dafür, dass es irgendwo ein Stück weit diverser wird.
Social media is ensuring that it's getting more and more diverse.
In der Mitte stand der Reitlehrer und hat gebrüllt. Und heute haben wir durch Social Media
Back then, the riding instructor and the riders were the center of our focus, and now it's the influencers. Maybe an influencer with an Icelandic horse, or one with an Oldenburger. There's a lot out there,
im Marketingbereich mitgedacht werden.
and we have to think about that in marketing
Content Creator, weil einfach andere Vorbilder existieren.
because there are different role models now.
Weil wir mittlerweile auch, wenn wir an Testimonials denken, stark
When we think about testimonials, the conventional testimonials,
die Content Creator. Und gleichzeitig ist es eben, wie gesagt,
that trust in testimonials is sinking. It's not the same as it used to be. The debate culture can be difficult, but there are positive aspects to that.
immer ein Thema, das wir den Kunden ja nicht erst verkaufen müssen.
When I bring up a topic,
So viele Menschen, die sich für dieses
we have so many people that we can get excited about this. So when we bring up topics, we like to have something that raises people's excitement. So that's just a little bit about what's going on. I have a few trends. So what's coming? This is a bit of a challenge for me because we're not all the same out here. We know what's going on with influencer marketing. We've taken some of the first steps. What my job is to bring all of you on board. For those of you who are just beginning, to make those first steps, and for those who are a little bit further on, to keep going. So, number one, influencer marketing, creator marketing is getting more and more important. That sounds banal. This, you wouldn't be able to say this at a fashion trade show because it's old hat for them. We are a little bit later to the party, but there is a trend upward here. It's becoming more and more important. There are more and more influencers finding their niche. There are brands who are taking up this topic and rolling with it. And there's a larger return in investment. Influencer marketing is not necessarily paying off for the brands. Prices are rising. Consumers are understanding what's happening. They're not jumping at it so quickly. It's not what it was 3 or 4 years ago in other ones. What we are doing in equestrian sport, we're coming right up to the peak. If we don't just say, yeah, we work with influencers and send out some content and see what happens. If we form a strong partnership and get a good campaign together, there's lots of potential there. At the same time, nano and micro influencers are gaining ground.
Das ist qualitativ natürlich ein bisschen gemein, Menschen nur an den Zahlen zu messen, aber es kann durchaus sinnvoll sein, ein wenig in solchen Kategorien zu denken, weil wir definitiv.
It's good to think less in categories. There are influencers who have 100,000 followers, and maybe I have to start with one that has 10,000 followers. Well, that can be good. The biggest faces, like Anja Fey or some of the larger influencers, they have strong sponsoring partners. But if you want to work with them, you can't get in because they already have their sponsors. So it's good to look at the smaller creators, maybe someone who doesn't have so much placement, that maybe we can do something together. So there's a lot of potential there to look into the midfield, people with maybe 20, 30,000 followers. There's a lot of creators out there that you can consider what you can do something with. Partnerships at eye level, I just talked about that. It doesn't matter where they are. Influencers understand how important they are for marketing, and they want to be understood. It's not just a quick, one-time cooperation with them, like thank you for that job, goodbye. They are expecting long-term relationships to be developed for over time, and that has a lot of advantages. First, it's better for the market. It's better to work over a longer time with someone. Your own placement is sometimes more affordable that way. You can learn a lot.
seine Community ziemlich gut.
The influencers know their communities pretty well, and they know what kind of products are welcome, what kind of campaigns are welcome. So here, as a brand, you can learn a lot if you have a close relationship with an influencer. So these can be really beneficial. And in terms of trust,
Wenn die natürlich merken, hey, der Influencer, dem ich folge,
when they say, well, hey, the influencer that I'm working, he's been there with that brand for so long, well, then they start thinking that must be a really good brand. So it generates trust on your brand as well if you're working long term. Next, number 4, content creators are becoming their own personal brands. I spoke about the creator economy. Creators and influencers are realizing their own opportunities, and they're launching their own products.
Die eigene Marken gründen, aber es gibt auch so ein paar Unterformen. Wir haben Influencer, die Co-Creations eingehen, zum
We
Beispiel.
have influencers who are co-creators, forming products with other brands. A personal brand means something else. It means more. It doesn't mean just products being launched, but that the influence itself understands and develops the brand. Maybe they realize it's not enough when I just use Instagram. Maybe I need to start a podcast. Maybe I have to go onto YouTube. Maybe I have to be a public entity, a public personality. You can see that as a threat if you want, because influencers are powerful. Well, they could be competitors, but you can also see it as an enormous chance to get into a partnership with a content creator. They have the means. To say, we have the means, we have the structure, let's start a partnership. So there's lots of opportunity there. 5, it's all about unique content. I told you about how important content is. Let's go back a little bit. There's this deluge of content on social media. It's hard to stand out. And every brand, they all have their own channels. They use Instagram, they use TikTok, YouTube, etc. And so the question is, what content can we post there that is unique, that will excite people? It's getting harder to really reach people. So all of us scrolling by on Instagram, there might be, if we see a post, we're going to give that 2.1 seconds before we scroll on. And that's not just the truth. That's when we are looking at our desktops. When our smartphones, it's less than that. So we really have a very, very short time to catch people's attention. Not every brand has the structure and the means to make a content team and to produce TikToks and YouTube videos. So this is where the content creator comes into play. They won't just do this on their own channels, so then you can have this posted on the content creator's post that other people can say this. In our sport, you can see that you'll see a feature co-author. This means that a brand and a content creator are creating something together. The brand has the horse, the photographer. The brand doesn't have to plan an entire entire day for that. The influencer knows his community or her community. And in the end, they are the ones who can create authentic content which will really give eyes to a brand's content. So they are the ones who create the content. They can really give a lot of potential. They have a lot of potential for bringing your brand more visibility. And they bring in a lot of creative input to the work. So I'm talking about content the whole time and how we can make this of use. Fortunately, more brands are seeing that we have to think differently. I often see in equestrian sport that there might be a video that plays well. The video is made and they're put on Instagram and then on TikTok. And they might be really aesthetically high quality. They look great on Instagram. On TikTok, they don't work out well. So there's lots of opportunity here to work specifically for each platform because the audiences there are different. And this is where the trend is going, that the brands know that when they make a promotion, they have to post on different platforms. And in order to reach those different audiences, they have to think, how does it work on TikTok? How does it work on Instagram? You might even use different creators for each platform. There might be a TikTok creator who's great but doesn't really work well on Instagram, or the other way around. So it pays to think about this right from the beginning in a clever way. Who will fit with me and who will fit on these channels? This is something else that's quite important, and I'm seeing this in my personal surroundings. Content creators are switching over to the company side, to the business side. This is more affordable. If a company can hire a content creator, this can really be a good thing. A good friend of mine, she just went over to Stüben. She's a well-connected content creator and influencer. Now she can work for Stüben. She has fresh ideas. She's well-connected. And this can be a really exciting path for her and for Stüben. If this cooperation works so well, then why think twice about bringing these people on board? Content creators are being actively courted. In my profession, I experience so often that companies say, well, we're company X, Y, everybody wants to work for us. Well, as a horse girl, I can understand that these brands are very famous, but content creators see that differently, yet they have their favorite brands, but they understand that they are a brand themselves now. So they want to be wooed. They want that the companies come to them. This means that you have to think about how can you make your brand more attractive so that both of you will profit from the cooperation. So that was a lot of input in these 30 minutes that I have. So here's a little bit of an upshot. Meetings at eye level have never been so important. As a brand, you should really take the content creators seriously. They are brands themselves. You can learn a lot from each other, and that goes for the content creator too. They have great reach. They know how strong their communities are. they understand that you're a firm with your own structure, your own history,
dann kann das Ganze wirklich langfristig funktionieren.
and that kind of cooperation can really work long term. Both sides can prosper. They understand how the community works. They can make terrific content, and you can learn from each other. For example,
Zu verjüngen und sich vielleicht
it can also make your brand younger.
sie sonst auf den eigenen Kanälen so gar nicht unbedingt machen könnten. Und mein letzter Tipp wäre wirklich immer
My last tip would be
kann helfen.
that competent support in acquisition and onboarding can always help.
Vor allem sagen, wenn ihr euch
Because I want to say,
erst rantasten möchtet,
if you just want to dip your toes into this thing, if
weiter sind, einfach mal mehr über das Thema zu sprechen mit Kollegen
talk more about this with your colleagues,
anzuschauen,
maybe watch some webinars,
Weiterbildung zu gehen, auch
go to an online marketing course.
großartige edukative Angebote
There's so many ways that you can learn about influencer marketing.
Unterstützung zu holen. Denn wenn ihr wirklich
Ask for help
strategisch
and ask for support, because if you really know
wie könnt ihr den Onboarding-Prozess
how to do this, if you know who you can speak to, to find what kind of opportunities there are with influencers, when you have that support,
davon profitieren.
you will really profit from it.
Ich danke euch sehr.
I thank you so much for your attention.
Immer mehr
You were a great publican. It was nice to see more and more of you. Thank you.
An dieser Stelle muss ich auch mal loswerden, das
So-
habe ich noch nicht erlebt. Dass hier morgens einer steht und plötzlich den
I have not yet seen that someone has brought people into the stage. Thank you. So where will we be seeing you today?
Das ist ja tatsächlich im Grunde beendet. Wir hatten
This
gestern
is my
von denen du schon erzählt
last talk. We were in Creator Days over the weekend. So about further development, networking, marketing, brands. We brought all that together. We had about 200 people that are all connected. So we're finished, and now I can relax.
kann der Tag ausklingt.
Genau richtig.
So
Vielen, vielen Dank.
thank you. Goodbye.